Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome again to another edition of Aunty May's Kitchen. I'm your host, Miriam K, and today I'm going to be preparing a dish that's exciting. A dish that I will call Sierra Leone's unofficial national dish. If you can guess what that is, comment now. But that's what we're going to be preparing. So these are the ingredients we're going to need. By looking at these ingredients, I'm sure you can guess what we're going to be preparing. Well, if you can't, then I'm going to tell you, because today we are going to be preparing cassava leaf, the Sierra Leone way. There are different ways that people can do it. I'm going to talk you through how I do it, and hopefully you can give it a go as well. And of course, we're going to need ingredients to prepare this food. And if we're going to do cassava leaf, we're going to need that. Yeah, so this is a cassava leaf. I bought it fresh, and so you can even see from the color that is really fresh. This one doesn't need any washing, anything. It can go straight from the pack to the pot. So that's the cassava leaf. We're also going to be needing some meat. You know how us, Africans are. We need to have all the creatures in one dish. So, but today, to prepare this cassava leaf, I'm going to be using beef. And then this is cow foot that I've already steamed. And the meat has already been seasoned as well. So, I'm going to need that. And as well as that, I'm going to add a bit of fish. The reason being, it just gives it that authentic African taste, like the way we prepare it back home. So I'm going to use a bit of fish to give it that flavor. And you're going to need some peanut butter. Peanut butter is quite important because otherwise the cassava leaf is not going to come out right. So that's it. That's the peanut butter. Smooth, please, not crunchy, smooth. Smooth peanut butter. So make sure, because you have crunchy, you have smooth. You need the smooth one. Okay. And we're going to need some onion. This is 2 medium onions that I've cut because it's a big pack. And then I've got here some Scotch bonnet pepper. I know it looks like a lot, it's spicy, but because when you're cooking some of these vegetables, they absorb the heat of the pepper. So in order for you to taste it, you need to put more. It's different to making stew. When you're cooking like vegetables, you need more pepper, more hot pepper. And then I've got here 2 jumbo cubes that I'm going to be using. And of course, I'm going to be using palm oil, but you can prepare it with oil if that's what you want. It's up to you. Some people use coconut oil, vegetable oil. Sometimes I do as well, but today I'm going to be using palm oil. And then I'm going to use a bit of salt. The salt that you can see is not much. The reason being, I've already got the stock cubes, so I don't really need that much salt. This, we call it tola, but other people like the Nigerians, they call it ogbono. This is the one it's literally the powder that I'm going to add the end of, to just give it that smoothness and bring all the ingredients together. Not much, but that's it. So these are the ingredients that we're going to use. So now we're going to jump onto the exciting part, which is the cooking. We're going to start with the meat. The cow foot has already been cooked a bit, but the meat isn't. But because, cow foot can be quite hard, it's not, right now it's still a bit tender, so I'm just going to put them together. So I'm going to put all of that inside my pot. The meat is already seasoned, so it does not need any further seasoning. And then I'm just going to put a bit of water. So as that cooks, you can see the cow foot was already pre-cooked, so it was still a bit tender, so that's why I'm putting it together with the beef, because the beef doesn't really take much time to cook. So yeah, it saves time, because cow foot, as we all know, it can take forever to cook. So that's why I've pre-cooked it already. And the beef itself is just beef that bone, so as you can see, it's already like cooking. It cooks quite quick. And so I'm doing that. What I'm going to do is to add one of the stock cubes. The meat's been cooking for about 5 minutes or so. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the next stock cube and then some salt as well. So I'm going to add my pinch of salt. Then I'm going to add the second stock cube, so it can all just cook together with the meat. So now it's been cooking for a bit. I'm going to add the palm oil. I know some people, maybe they prefer to do it towards the end. I don't, because I want the palm oil to cook well. So that's why, because if not, it has a certain taste that I just don't like. So I like to put my palm oil early so it cooks with the meat as well. So that's it. This is just red palm oil. The amount of palm oil you're using as well depends on the how big or how much cassava leaf you use. That's how you decide. And also how much palm oil or oil you want on your food. So I'm going to now add the Scotch bonnet pepper. I've got two medium-sized ones here. So I'm going to put that into the mixture. Wow. And now I'm going to also put the onions. Yeah, so the onions go in. And now I'm going to add the smooth peanut butter. Please, I'm saying it again, smooth, because I've had times when I've given instruction to somebody, a friend of mine, that ended up using crunchy. So if it doesn't come out right, don't say it's Miriam. So please make sure you get the smooth one. Read and get the right one, because it's very important. It's one of the main, besides the cassava leaf, the peanut butter is one of the main ingredients, because that's what brings everything together and make cassava leaf what it is. So you need to make sure you have just enough, not too much, not too little, otherwise it will completely change the taste of the food. Because the peanut butter, if you don't make sure it disperses, there'll be like lumps of it, and you don't want to be eating and then you're feeling lumps of peanut butter. So sometimes people will first just use water to make it just a bit runny before putting it, but I've got already like some water here, the palm oil, so that helps. So make sure that there are no lumps of peanut butter, because that would not taste nice. Now what I did, I added the Scotch bonnet pepper and along with the onions, and then I put the peanut butter. The reason why is for all of it to cook together, because you don't want the onion to be overcooked or undercooked. You just want the texture to be right. And with the peanut butter, the reason why I put it at this point, because I need for it to disperse. Otherwise, some people put the peanut butter after putting the cassava leaf, but then what happens is you end up having like lumps of peanut. So in order to avoid that, that's why I put the peanut butter before I put my cassava leaf, so I don't have any lumps of peanut butter, because that can ruin a really nice dish. So that's why, if you see now, even like it's gone really thick, but I'm not going to add any water into it, because the reason being, the cassava leaf itself has, like some liquid in it. Cassava leaf grows in a lot of African countries, but not all African countries eat cassava leaves. Some only eat the root, the cassava itself, not the leaves. But I know, I think, yes, Senegalese, Sierra Leoneans, and Guineans as well, we eat cassava leaf. Um, it's actually very good. I was reading about it. It has really high content of protein. It does also have a lot of carbohydrate, but it has high content of protein that is really quite healthy. So as long as you cook it the right way, anyway. So that's the cassava leaf, and I'm just going to put that in now and let everything just cook well together. Just make sure you mix everything, cassava leaf, with all the other ingredients. If you can see, this is the reason why I do not add extra water, because the cassava leaf itself already has liquid. So when I put it with the rest of the ingredients, you can see that it's no longer thick because it's all mixed together. Now you see the reason why I didn't add water, because once you put a cassava leaf, because it's fresh, see now it has its own liquid. So after this is the bit, it's very important you remember. Once you've put that cassava leaf, right, it's going to start going everywhere. I mean everywhere. Even your neighbor will get some. So in order to prevent that, make sure once you've put the cassava leaf, everything, cover it. Just keep it covered and let that just cook for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to check it. I know a lot of people like to, from Sierra Leone, when they cook cassava leaf, they like to add something we call ogiri, which is fermented sesame seed, to just give it that flavor. But for me personally, when I was growing up and learning to cook, it wasn't something that my family used much. We substitute that with using like fish to give it the flavor, to give it that, that authentic smell and flavor. So that's how I cook mine. But it doesn't mean you cannot add your own extra ingredient. If need be, you can add ogiri, but the only thing, it is quite difficult to get unless you go to a specific African, even some African shops don't have it, unless like they sell Sierra Leone specific food. The cassava leaf's been cooking, and you see, as I said, why you need to keep it covered. If you can see, it goes everywhere. But once the cassava leaf starts to cook, you will see that even the color will change. So it would not, it's gone from that bright green, because it's also mixed with the ingredients like the palm oil, the peanut butter, so the color has changed. And that's how you know when it's, that your cassava leaf is cooking. You see the colors here change. And also when your cassava leaf starts to really, dry up, and you will see that the palm oil or oil or whatever it is you use, it will flow to the top. That will show you that liquid and all of that is drying up. So that's how you start to know that your food is almost ready. And I'm just going to taste, the African way. We do this. It tastes all right. So in the absence of fish, if you cannot, because I know not everybody lives in cities that are multicultural. So in the absence of fish, what you can do is to maybe use like fish powder or crayfish, just to kind of give it that flavor, because not everybody lives in places where it's accessible for them to get the kind of fish that we use. So then alternatively, you can just add a bit of fish powder or crayfish. That will still give it, that flavor. Okay. So last but not the least, I'm going to now add the tola, aka ogono powder. The reason why we put this is to just make all the ingredients come together like smoothly. Alternatively, if you don't have that, you could use okra, which gives the same effect, just to bring all the ingredients together. Not to make it too slippery, but to just make it easy, to eat and make it more enjoyable. So alternatively, you can use okra, but I'm going to use So you don't even need much. See the amount I've got. And as you put it, you mix it to make sure that it goes all around and it's not in just one place. And seriously, it's as simple as that, and it's something that does not need like extra time to cook. So while the food is finishing, I am going to just tell you the different ways you can eat your cassava leaf, so the sides that you can have with it. I usually have it with rice, white rice, but you can order, I've seen other people have it with all sort of things. Brown rice is good, it's quite healthy, it's healthier than white rice, so brown rice is a good choice. You also have some people that may eat it with like eba, couscous, you know, so many different ways that you can enjoy it. It's up to you. Gari, really anything is up to you, but for me, my preference is to have it with rice, but you can have it with whatever goes for you. You can even have it with cassava. Well, they are related, cassava leaf, so if that's your choice, you can have the entire family in one plate. So I'm gonna dish, and yeah, that's it. So this is my white rice that I've cooked. And yeah, so I'm gonna have my cassava leaf with that rice. Oh, please let me not go everywhere, please. So this is the finished product, and I know it might not look appetizing. That's the problem with some of our African dishes. They don't look appetizing, but trust me, they taste well. And it's so hard to try and make it presentable, you know, like the Golden Brown restaurants. But it tastes well, and that's what matters, the taste. I've tried my best to try and make it, you know, look a bit decent. But anyway, it shows that we really enjoy our food because we just want to get in. We just want to dig in. All that, we just want to get to the main point, which is the taste. So, and that's what we're going to do next.
Now, the so famous cassava leaves sauce is ready. I am here to have a taste of it. I've had lots of different kinds of cassava leaves. I've tasted the ogiri one, I've tasted the okra one, I've tasted the one with whatsoever that is done with similar ingredients. Let me try. I'll have a go now. Rice and cassava leaves. Tastes good. Pepper is okay. It's not so chili.
Thank you for joining me today in my kitchen, preparing the delicious and the famous cassava leaf. I hope you try it out. I hope you enjoy it. And please, if you do prepare any of the dishes that we do and use the recipe, kindly either take a video or a photo, post it on social media, tag AMAZE TV or hashtag AuntyMaze Kitchen, and you actually get an opportunity to be, you know, to receive a shout out on the future episodes. So thank you. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're actually going to give it a go and be ready because we have a lot more in store. And if you have suggestions, we're here. We're open to suggestions. Until next time, until the next episode of AuntyMaze Kitchen, bye and have a lovely, lovely, lovely